I'm not even sure where to start with this one. Jazz, I'm not mad at you, buddy. Do your thing. I want you to express yourself the way you do. I love your little show. The whole Damn It Thursday thing, I know I wrote to you one time and said that it's promoting negativity and distraction. That's how I feel about it. Every time, words are very powerful. Every time you damn something, you're sticking that negativity out there and it's liable to bounce back at you. I know intentions are important and feelings behind things. So that's just my personal opinion on it. Go for it. I know if it's going to bother me, I'll avoid Thursdays. I don't know. I didn't really investigate a lot into the whole there are no dinosaur things. I just, the way things are, I said, yeah, that's just not what, they don't exist. They lied. But why? And I don't know if that was ever brought up, but the way I see it, they could have, the whole dinosaur thing is a big fear factor of human extinction. If one asteroid killed all these dinosaurs, what would it do to the human race? It also reinforces outer space with asteroids coming from outer space. That was the whole reason for the creation of dinosaurs. I've noticed the energy's really funky. Last maybe a week now, you could see it in other people's videos. I could feel it with the people that I'm working with, experience, talk to people I'm talking to. It's getting a little ridiculous. People just seem angry, on edge. With me, I go up there, I'll be working and I just bring up flat earth and other phenomenon constantly, and it's usually okay. But within the last week, it's been, you're a motherfucking asshole. Oh my God, how stupid are you? And usually I'll be like, oh, but you're a baller, and I don't laugh at that. What seems more ridiculous, that we live on a spinning ball or a flat plane? And they kind of give me this look, and I'm like, yeah, you're a baller. That's awesome. Make friends with these people. But now, even me, I'm like, I'm ready to knock somebody out. Next person that gives me a lip on that, I don't even want to tell them to anybody anymore. I'm like, fuck you. Give a shit. Live on your spinning ball. See if I care. Before I posted that preparation video, I wish I thought about it more. Like I said, the energy's been pretty funky, so that's what I think I've been going through. But I got steered off track. And as far as preparing, I think Lori Gale's absolutely right. I totally blew it on that one, made a mistake. Maybe not totally, because I am right. Prepare for what? And I think there is something to prepare for. I just don't know what it is. I'm under the impression that some interesting things are going to happen come August, September, October, November, sometime in that area. And I just, to me, it's like, well, how would you prepare for the Mandela effect? How would you prepare for coming into the knowledge that the Earth is not a globe? You really can't prepare for those things, and I really think it's going to be something even more powerful that's going to get people's attention. But I don't know that it's going to be so physical. I think I'm under the impression that we're shedding that life, that paradigm. We're out of that, and we're going into something else. It's magic here. I think if we all keep talking about it, we'll figure something out. But I do think, we do have to prepare for something, but what? And I think the best thing we could do is get into communities, talk to your neighbors, probably not about flat Earth. At least that's what I've discovered recently. Um, I'm barely bringing it up. I do when I know the time is right and whatnot, but I think we need to start talking to get closer to the people that live around us and get a community. That would be, I think, really good preparing. So I do think Lori Gale is correct in that aspect. We do need to prepare, but for what? Like I said, how do you prepare for something that you have no idea what it's going to be like? And I don't think it's going to be such a physical thing. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. It's all guesswork at this point. But I just wanted to put that out there because, yeah, we should gather in communities, start to talk to people, get to know the people around you, because that's what we're going to need. Those personal dimensional bubbles, I said that, we all have our own personal dimensional bubble. What about trying to bring all the like-minded people that think this way together, and we can all get in the same bubble and make that bubble bigger? Am I just going off on a tangent? I don't know. But that's it. I think, yeah, prepare, but I'm not sure what to prepare for, but I'm getting myself ready mentally, spiritually, physically. That's it.
Then in 2016, the earth shifted beneath our feet. The rebellion started.
The next couple of clips are just going to be from the last couple of few days where the energy was kind of funky and then it kind of got better. That's what you're going to see coming up. For me, look, I've been doing this since April 15th, but my personal experiences have been going on since late 14, and I didn't really understand what was going on. Kind of blew it off, I guess. See a weird experience, blow it off. But then I came into MandelaEffect.com early September, probably September 1st, all late August. And that kind of helped me because other people were going through what I was going through. Other people were noticing things. And I discovered Flat Earth. And I don't know exactly what order this all happened in. It was all kind of moved around because I know when I first got it, saw Flat Earth, I blew it off so quick. But my computer died, and that's when it really all started happening. That's when June of 15, when my PC died. I guess I got away from the computer and started noticing things. Maybe, I don't know. But my computer should be getting put up soon. I should be getting it fixed soon. It's been a year. All I've been doing is using my phone. So some of the messages I have, I think, are pretty interesting, except that you can see where the energy was weird because I didn't want to talk to people about Mandela effects or flat earth theories or anything because I just kept getting shot down. Literally people telling me I'm crazy, I need help. It just blew me away. I think I got through it. I pushed through it okay. But here's a couple of those clips. It may be pointless to tell people about this stuff or interact with them. Ben Massaro called them average Americans. I thought that was interesting because that's what I see. I said that the energy's been really funky the past couple of weeks, and I still feel that way. I think it's subsided a little since the full moon. I've talked to other people and said they feel like it's getting worse. But I think what pulled me out of it, besides the energy itself subsiding, was me being in the moment. When I felt my feet on the ground, felt my hand touching the doorknob to turn it, open the door, and just every nanosecond, every moment. I could feel the excitement building in me. And that was how I was able to get that momentum going and get out of my funk. And that's not the first time that's happened. The light goes out on me every once in a while. I don't understand why. The last few weeks, the energy's been wonky, and I've seemed to come out of it myself. But the energy's still there. Really interesting things going on in my life. I just pick up this fortune cookie, and inside it says, "There's no boosting a man up the ladder unless he's willing to climb." And I realized that this past few weeks, everybody I mentioned the truth to, as far as flat Earth or any Mandela effects, just didn't work. I mean, there was just no. It was bad. I don't know how else to put it. I mean, things happened in my life that just shouldn't have happened, and I couldn't understand it, and I just blew it off. It's like I'm not even here, and I kind of just work through it, let it happen, flow it. I don't fight anything, just let it happen. But after the full moon, all of a sudden I was able to talk to people about that stuff again, even though I've been asked to, not in work, which I thought was pretty funny. At one point they seemed to really, no, don't do that. Now they don't seem to care. I mean, it was like that quick. So I've decided to just, play it cool. I don't think it's important to tell everybody. People are not going to come into this information easily, and maybe we're not supposed to tell them. Maybe they're supposed to find it on their own. Maybe we give them a hint about it here and there, and then they do their own investigating and decide for themselves. Plus with that Coca-Cola Mandela effect, I just walked through an antique store where all of the old symbols of Coca-Cola, the hyphen was up top. I first saw that on Sean Indigo's site about the Coca-Cola, and I was like, wow, I can't believe I haven't mentioned it since I've seen it. But that definitely changed for me. And he mentioned Kit Kat, and that hyphen was definitely there for me at one point. But just some more little tidbits. Seems there's been a rise on YouTube to figure out, what exactly is going on. I've noticed a lot of videos people are talking about, trying to figure out exactly what's going on. I'll have to link a few videos because I came across some really interesting information. Just coming up with, hey, we got to do something. Let's come up with, what's actually going on now. It's been over a year. Let's figure this out. People are claiming they can control the Mandela effect, or at least by a very small amount. A guy was talking about Mamas and the Papa song, and how we kept going back and forth with the video about how it was 3 or 4 different things possibly, and he changed right there in the video. I've done that with the wall. I mean, I don't know that I've done it, but that's what I've heard. I've heard brick and break back and forth so many times. Most of the time it's break. All lyrics that I've ever read are all brick. Another brick in the wall. But every time I hear it, most of the time it's break. But it switches. Just a brick in the wall. All in all it was just bricks in the wall. If the observer is affecting the situation by observing, there should be nothing to fear. Just hanging out at the airport, waiting for a flight to come in, thinking about Mandela effects and things. I remember something we discussed. What do you recall? The Bigfoot Pizza. Which company? I recall it a different way than it is now. I could let that go. There's a bunch of pizza places out there, but there was one I specifically remember the commercial and the character that was in that commercial. But it's different for me now. What do you remember? The Bigfoot pizza.
I've also noticed a lot of people still watching TV, getting into the presidential races, paying attention to that stuff, that garbage that they put on that box. I mean, you're feeding yourself that, you're putting it in your perception, it's in your reality, and it's not doing you any good. I don't see anybody coming out of that going, "Ooh, I love my life because of TV."
Also, a friend of mine, we were talking, and he brought up something called M theory. I briefly touched on it, never really delved into it that much, so I'd have to understand exactly what he was talking about. But basically, he said if you take yourself out of three-dimensional time, the Earth would look like a flat disk. And like when he said that, it totally got my attention. We were not talking about flat Earth at all. I don't even believe this guy knows what my feelings are on that. I don't think it's ever been brought up with him. And I find the whole M theory interesting because I've had experiences with time, and I wonder, have we all that experience Mandela effects and the Earth not being a globe, have we all stepped out of time some way? Can we affect this? That's been the question. And I think that's what we're starting to find out now.
Starting to feel like the shape of the Earth is as malleable as time. With the Mandela effect and the things that have been going on there, and I've stated that I felt like flat Earth could be a Mandela effect. I mean, it's all connected anyway, so why not have the Earth is going back and forth from a ball to a flat disc? I'm not saying that's what it is, but it depends on where you're at in your perception, maybe. I'm just coming up with thoughts, throwing them all together here. Something just came to mind. I noticed Nichelle Nichols, Lieutenant Uhura from Star Trek, is still alive. And I do recall a couple of years ago, before I started to realize what was going on or all these changes I saw and everything else, I was in the car on my way to work, and an announcement came on the radio and said, Nichelle Nichols had passed. And I remember thinking to myself, I swear she died already, like a year prior to that. And I just blew it off like I did every other time. Like, well, maybe she recovered and that was it. But she's still with us.
I was just telling the stars how beautiful I thought they were. And that light out there just started going wonky. And look at that, it stopped. Amazing, I think. And I'm out there very often. That light has never done that before, and we'll see if it does it since. And I'm just going to put all the things I've said in the last 2 weeks. I've had ideas. One of the things, I made a recording, and then I went and listened to Jazz, and he said something very similar. You probably even pick it up. I forget what it is. I'm just going to go ahead and mesh the whole week and a half together. Enjoy. Message to anybody new that has interest in changes in reality, Mandela effect, or the shape of the planet, flat Earth. Avoid the drama. Take the information, get the information, and go. The drama is ridiculous. Sometimes I think, it's being done on purpose. Sometimes I think it's just people's personalities clashing. And I don't have time to sit there and discern what the hell's really going on. My feelings are, as a wrap up, if I was going to wrap it all up, I'd say, yeah, well, I'm sure that for some reason the powers that be have tried everything they can to deceive the population about the shape of the planet. They've tried to tell us that it's a ball, it's spinning through space. I don't believe this is true. I mean, that's been proven to me. Also, what's been proven to me, the stars are not suns with planets revolving around them. This is a personal experience. My very first video, I mentioned what happened. To me, this is something I saw, experienced, it happened. I don't care what anybody else believes. It's something that happened to me, or with me, for me, whatever you have it. I mean, I'm not going to sit here. I'm not even going to defend myself on that. You know, I really feel like there's communication going on there. I just wish I knew what the heck they were saying. But if you want to understand the star situation, my first video explained it. I mean, I came out firing. So, you know, and I'm thinking about it, and what do I believe? What I believe really doesn't matter. I mean, yeah, I think it's very possible that the physical plane may be as malleable as time. That the shape of the planet could be going back and forth, like I said in another video, depending on where you are in your perception. It's round, it's flat, it doesn't matter. You know, you take yourself out of time, it's going to be flat. That was discussed. I had a discussion with somebody about that. If you take yourself out of time and look at the plane, it's going to be flat. It's going to be an oval disc, I believe they said. And I was like, okay, for whatever reason, I don't know. I didn't understand the numbers, but so is it malleable? It doesn't matter. It's where your perception is. So where are you going to put your perception? Because I'm taking it away from TV and all this drama they got on television, that the only reason I hear it is because of other people talking about it. I've blacked it out. The drama that goes on with Flat Earth and the videos, I'm just, you know, I'm blacking it out. I'm ignoring it. I'm taking what information I can, and I'm running with it. The truth of the matter is, the less the perception, the things I'm seeing on YouTube, you know what? Get on with your life and why watch it? I mean, it hasn't come to that point for me yet, but I can see where it will. I can see where it's going to be, my life is my perception, and I'm going to go ahead and live it. Instead of listening to all the garbage that they got on YouTube and television and everything else, because that's what this whole YouTube thing is starting to become. Maybe not as directed and on purpose, but it's starting to become garbage. I mean, so get the information you can, because there is a lot of good information out there. So get that information, take it, and live your life. Create your life, because I think that's what all these things are telling us. The Mandela effect is what they call it. The time effects, the changes that I've been seeing, that others have been seeing. You know, this is us creating life. So let's create it. My perception is I am a physical human being. So my perception is lying, because I am not my physical body. Or am I? When I first discovered the Mandela effect, things would appear and disappear. And at first I didn't even notice it, because it would be 3 days later and the thing would show up, and I figured, oh, I just must not have seen it. But I was looking for my razor this morning, and this is how I left my table. And this is what I saw when I came back. So I've been thinking, since 2001, there was a forced shift. I remember a conversation we had on MandelaEffect.com about it was like every 3 years and every 11 years, there was a shift. That's what they've noticed from when the changes happened. That they found changes going way back. But since 2001, all of us talked about it
formed a hypothesis that there was a force shift in 2001, and since then we've actually been shifting further into fourth and fifth dimension, where your thoughts, reality, you create it, period. You need an apple, it appears in your hand. That's what I believe we're going to. I believe we're actually already there. It's just a matter of us believing it and knowing it. Not even believing it, just knowing it. I really feel that this is where we are right now. As a matter of fact, from me alone, listening to music and having the words say what I wanted them to say, I knew it was going to say that. It's happened with a couple of songs. And just that to me, okay, that's a small experiment. And now I'm trying some things that are a little bigger. Also, when I mentioned the paper changing, that the old book had yellow pages, and then somewhere in the middle there was a section of brand new paper. He said it smelled brand new. It was very fine. I'll definitely going to let you look at that link. I want you to check it out. And I'm also thinking if anybody else has old books out there, to go through them a few times and see if they see anything like that, because I'm wondering if that's some other anomaly. I don't know, wouldn't call it anything to have to do with flat earth or a Mandela effect. I don't, the labels we put on these things are just a little bit off for me anyway. But go check some old books. I'll have to check the year that he said that this book that he has was printed. I really feel like this is a great time for everyone to center themselves and be joyful and feel abundance and know what you want. This is a great time for that. I know August 8th to, I believe, August 27th is supposed to be very powerful for those thoughts. I don't know why. The way the stars are going around the flat earth plane, maybe? I don't know. But energy is, I'm definitely feeling it. I'm more sensitive to it when it's good, bad, ugly. I feel like I should have more control when I know it's bad. I feel like I should just probably meditate more. And just because I don't remember something doesn't make it a Mandela effect. It gets really tedious. It's the major ones. They're the ones that I find interesting. There's a video I really want everybody to check out. It's this guy opened up a book that he's been reading. It's an older book. I forget what year it was published. Maybe he said the 40s or something. And all the pages are yellowed. But strangely enough, right in the middle is a small portion of pages where the paper is brand new. And he talks about it. I'm going to leave a link. It's really interesting. Back in the 80s, I studied the JFK assassination very thoroughly. So I'm quite sure I recall 4 people in that car when he was allegedly murdered. But I was studying a lot of other things too. I had a book from a guy named Vladimir Valerian, Matrix 3 it was called. We're talking 85 I had this book. And it's funny, it may have actually come out later, but I know it was like 85, 86. We discussed everything, me and a couple of friends of mine where I worked, and reading all this stuff. And one of the things that a friend kept trying to tell me at the time was that the moon landings were faked, and there were other things along with that. And I was like, come on, man, I can only take so much. But back in the 80s, I speculated about that, but I don't think I ever really believed it. I think I really believed that, we went to the moon. But one of the things we always discussed was when things were going to change. And I believe what we were talking about then was the Mandela effect. He always talked about how, one day you're going to see the golden arches will be a different color. or the sky won't be blue, it might be green. He said these things were going to happen. He's not around with us now, but we discussed those things a lot. And I think that it's a real good possibility that things like that people just aren't going to be able to explain away are what we need to prepare for, and probably give other people, ideas, the ideas that we've been talking about for the last year or so. No fear and what we believe is going on. I actually have Lieutenant Uhura, Nichelle Nichols, dying twice before Spock, Leonard Nimoy.